6:32. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Are there any new members here today?
Yeah, use that stuff up.
Yes. Okay, would you like to let us know your names?
My name is, you want me to stand or?
You can stand if you want, you don't have to.
My name is Kyle Becker and I'm current resident of St Clair Shores, I'm an artist. So I want to check this out. It's on the paper and refer to the librarian office and just want to come here and check it out.
Great, I hope you join us. We're really a friendly group.
I'm a listener. Well, I don't know, but you know what? If I come, I can start learning.
Yes, we all start somewhere. Yeah. Oh, but there's a lot of people that start when they're older. Okay, any other guests? I know we got Johnny over there. That's my grandson. And is there any other guests? Okay, the reading of the minutes. Now, the minutes were sent to everybody via email. Did everybody have a chance to look at them?
Yes, we
Yes.
Okay. So does somebody want to make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes? Okay, that's Diane.
I'll second.
And Jackie seconds it. All in, is there any discussion on the minutes? Okay, then all in favor of accepting the minutes that were sent out?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
those opposed? Okay, it's accepted. Treasurer report. Mary, would you like to come up here and read your treasurer report?
Okay, the balance as of our last meeting on April 4th was 4,000. Turn my
Easy
voice.
for you to say.
Would you like me to read it for you?
Yeah. Messed up.
Balance as of April 4th, 2022 is $4,436.61. Income from membership dues is $310. Spring show is $300.
Picture with the iPad, but
Spring show entries. Amazon Smile was $18.86.
obviously, no, I'm not too interested.
Masons was $36. And the Meta Strigley
Oh, wow.
Found Award, $75 for
Excuse me, it's Meta.
yes, Meta.
I just learned that at the show.
So that is for a total of $739.86. As far as expenses, we have our judge, Adwa Muzea, $100, cash prizes, $305, programs, $27.03, cake, $58.30, tablecloths, $16.89, punch supplies, $25, and Strigley's Founder Award donated was $75. The subtotal for the show is $607.22. The demo from Jennifer Stegny, The River Glass, was $100, and April's rent was $30, for a total expenditure of $737.22. The new checkbook balance is $4,439.25. Respectfully submitted, Mary Palazola.
Thank you, Jackie and Mary. So I just stole Jackie's phone. Sorry about that. Is there any discussion on the treasury report?
I
Yes.
just had a question, since she brought up the cake. Where did it come from? It was very good.
That was Side Street Diner on the Village in Grosse Pointe.
Oh, I didn't know they did bake.
And they are, tell her, what is it? She's a past member's mother or something that
Joan Taylor.
Joan Taylor.
was a previous member.
So besides food there, they also sell baked goods?
Yes, they do sell baked goods and, yeah, also.
Oh, okay.
But I was just gonna make the connection that there was a member's mother that owns the diner. And we've been, I guess, getting our cakes there for years. Not last year, but. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, anybody want to make a motion to accept the treasurer's report? I got Wendy here and Robert. Wendy Coleman made the motion and Robert Selwa made the second. All in favor of accepting the treasurer's report as read? Those opposed? Okay, that's been approved. All right, for the approved, I have to start using my middle name because I'm not gonna have it much longer. All right, the spring show. The handouts are available both online and at our website and on Facebook, I believe. Did you put these on Facebook and the website?
Yes.
Okay, when you put on Facebook, are they on the website yet?
No.
Okay, so they're not on the website yet, but they will be.
Yes.
But if you went to the show and didn't get a chance to get a program or the list of winners, there's some here at the front of the desk. So honorable mentions were, let me see, I'm making sure. Honorable mentions was Jackie Block for Sal Forth, Ann Fanaris for I Am the Light, Denny Metivier for Red Farmstead, June Nash, Hummingbirds, Mary Palazzola, San Pedro River, Richard Ruff for Grist Mill Rapids, and Steve Brunnis for Bald River Falls.
That was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Scratch that last one. The outstanding awards was Dennis Shepard with Sweet Sonora, Larry Sands with Reflections of the Last Dance, Deborah Burnham with Petunias, and Marilyn Bardale for Scenic Lunch. We had a special award for our 75th anniversary. It wasn't announced because we didn't have the offer from the Wrigley family until after we've already sent out a call for action. And it was a nature-based theme is what they wanted it to be for, and they donated $75 for that award. And the winner of that award was Steve Grunnis for his Bald River Falls. And then for third place was Tom Sherry for Weeds and Sun. Diane Harris took second place for Annabelle Pouting. And Wendy Coleman took first place for Inspirational View. So congratulations to all the participants, but especially to all the people who won awards. So that was fantastic. Hi, urban sketching event. We're going to have one more urban sketching event coming up. And that's going to be this May 4th because it is Wednesday.
Yes.
All right. And it's at the Black Cat Coffee Shop, which is just across the street from that statue of the old man playing chess with the little girl. Chess or checkers.
Their coffee.
That place is really cool.
Yeah, and so we're gonna meet at the coffee shop. If it's nice, you can even go outside and do some sketching outside, but everybody's invited, and you don't even really have to be a member yet to join us on that. So you're welcome to join us on that. That is just public forum. So
What time is it?
we start at I didn't write it down here. We start at 10 a.m. And I stay until at least 11. I don't say I'm gonna stay till,
So,
because then I feel obligated if nobody showed up to stay the full time and nobody shows up. So I show up at 10 or a little bit before, and I stay at least till 11. And then other people, whoever they stay, how they stay as long as they want. Does anybody got any questions or anything on the Zoom? Nope. All right. So then also dues. This is the last month of our season. We have an operating season from June through May. So if you want to pay your dues today, you're more than welcome to come see Debbie up here at the table. She's in the blue shirt, wave her hand. Or else you can mail it into her. So that way you can get your dues in before the end of the season. I would like some feedback from the members. What's working and what's not working with our club? So are there things that you like, that you want to see continue? And if there are things that you don't care for and you would like to change the program? Yes, Diane.
I love our Zoom every other Friday. I think that's fantastic. It kind of makes me schedule some time to paint and get to network with everybody. I love that. That works.
And I second that, because I really like that. And what it has done for me is it's gotten me to paint a lot more paintings than I would have procrastinated on. And because it's that set day, I started, we come up with some sort of theme to, it's not what you have to do, but it's an inspirational theme. So if you want to do the same thing, we're going to be doing barns this next one, which is going to be next week, Friday, because it's the second Friday of the month.
What do you call it now?
Zoom with June. But it's basically a Zoom paint along.
Not this Friday, but next Friday.
Diane, yeah. Diane liked the sound of June with Zoom with June. I can't say it. Yes,
Do you
Jenny.
have dates for the upcoming this month so that we can pencil it in?
I've got a schedule up there, but there's also a schedule that's been sent to all the members' email. But feel free to grab a schedule. It's got all the dates of everything.
You guys know I've been like crazy busy, and I apologize.
Okay, so we'll continue with the Zoom with June. Is anything else? Yeah, Robert.
What about, perhaps we haven't had those in years. I don't know if there is enough interest in that.
Now specifically tell me what you're thinking with workshops.
Tony Warren, I gave him a watercolor workshop. There's something like $30.
Okay, so then the members would pay for to go to the workshop.
Yeah.
And the workshop would be at one of our studio days, or would it be a separate day, or what?
Together.
Okay, we can look into seeing if we can get some. I know that, I think it is Tony that says that he's willing to do workshops. So for price, Tony Warren.
Yeah, he does workshops. We have a lot of people out there that do workshops, just have to be contacted. Rainy Day has space for classes. So if somebody was to call them and talk to yourself or one of the people on the floor and see if we could get a room and get Tony to meet us there, that might work.
Do they charge us for the room?
They used to, but I think they just want people to come in. So that's why I say make a contact. I'm just saying it's potential.
Okay,
Our
thank you.
studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
June, I went to one of those workshops and Tony Warren at that time charged $300. So we had to get at least 10 people to get involved, and we charged everybody like $30. We have to pay him.
Okay. So we would have to do an RSVP by a specific date and get money collected by then. So then you get your money back if the class was canceled. That's sort of like the way the St. Clair Shores adult education works too. If they don't get enough people, they give you your money back and they cancel the class. So is that something that a lot of people would be interested in, is workshops?
I would.
Okay.
The issue is, during the day, it's hard for me since I'm working and also I don't have.
Okay.
Any of that stuff, I just,
How about, doing it at a meeting time?
We generally only have an hour for presentations at the meeting. And workshops generally, I think, last about 2 to 3 hours, don't they? In order to be able to
Sometimes
complete
more than
something.
that.
Yep.
So it would be more of a demonstration with a little bit of short.
Well, okay, but if you do it during the day, you're cutting people out.
Well, no, but do we also have Saturday? I was
Okay.
gonna announce it later, but our studio's open again, starting this Saturday at Blossom Heath.
Oh.
So we do have a studio room on Saturday now, again. So hopefully everybody can make it. And I'll repeat that.
Eggs.
Away from, because right now we're doing work
Yeah.
somewhat.
We don't be anywhere.
So I, looks like, we can work out the details on it and people can get their input on what they would
Yeah,
like.
they said, I saw the weather,
Maybe people that can do the
the low
workshop. for
weather,
us,
it did say that
And,
it could
you know,
start at
and
midnight
that's
tonight.
prices on
Keep going.
people if they know somebody that would like to do one. We might have some club members
They really did.
with a workshop and maybe not charge us quite as much,
It
or
would be-
even do it for free.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Here,
yes.
I can move the antennas. What is it?
Right.
Yeah.
Put more dirt around here, so this here really.
Okay,
out and
I don't know if does Anton do workshops? Just,
Yeah,
um,
it's fine,
There's a lot of.
workshop.
but we
I
can
don't think,
make them go up. We can promote them.
that kind of stuff. But I'll turn that up.
And maybe we can also notify them that there's classes starting for workshops and classes.
And we could put like something a little more. front.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan. And Wendy,
What's nice about,
And I don't know,
the idea of remote work.
just saying,
Class,
have something,
I think,
because right now it's just kind of like little,
you know.
almost weeds or something growing, who
I
knows?
know.
So,
I think
neighbors look great. Yes, Banks installed it for $19. Cool.
do something.
What?
better and, you know.
He got the new belt.
Oh,
sort of like the Zoom with June where we have
Yeah.
an inspirational
Yeah, like,
theme.
I'd love to do Zoom with June, but I can't.
No, but I mean, we could do something like that on a Saturday where we come up with a theme and maybe somebody that has some experience with a particular media.
Yeah.
Can kind of lead the group.
That'd be-
Because we did do that, was it last summer, where we did it with clay?
Yeah.
And so we did a clay thing that I led, which,
Also, the
and
portraits,
I'm not one of the people that are just that experienced with clay, but I like
portraits
it.
too. Before we
What?
got shut down, we were doing the portraits.
Okay, good. Steve's got that.
And then you mean like models?
Yes.
Yes,
And I
so we can do,
that a lot of who had right before we had to shut down. Because she back.
and we were gonna have twice. So, but we can get other models too, and also let me know if there's anybody that's in the club that would like to model for us. Give us your name, maybe we can do a sign up with that. I didn't bring my clipboard, I don't think, but I do have a pad of paper. You can sign up and say that you'd be willing to be a model, and people can decide, and you model for 20 minutes, you take a break, and then you model again. And if you don't think you can sit still for that, we can always adapt it to whatever our models, can do, but, a live model, workshops that are informal and paid. So the informal one would be free.
I didn't get one today, and I've
I
been
thought
working.
you were gonna get.
And,
Yeah,
yes,
but
I like the outdoor
you know,
sketching.
I
in the
would have.
summer.
Let's put it that
well,
way.
okay, so that, the printouts.
Would've,
Yeah,
and,
thank-
no, what I did.
Jerry.
What I'm saying is, I'm ready. I've been working outside.
we keep going to the same
Run.
place.
Well, we get a little bit different. We got a lot of places that we're repeating, but this year we're going to Zoom, which is going to Belle Isle, which is a new place.
Yeah.
Is there any other new places mentioned?
That over here, that's a priority.
All right, Kyle,
Right, go
You can just take it right into the.
No, but that might be like a field trip to the DIA type thing.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said DIA, which is Detroit Institute of Arts.
I don't know. I've never been to the other one, but I've been to the.
Oh, you've never been
DIA
to,
has
Anton?
workshops.
Really?
The DIA has senior days.
Yeah, they do.
And not all of our members are seniors.
Well, they probably wouldn't care because we were, you know.
Some of the people that are not seniors are laughing right now.
I have no idea.
But I've been to workshops at the DIA that were not specified specifically seniors. But we will let people know about those workshops on our newsletters.
And they don't charge you to get in the museum if you are a member of Oakland or Macomb County.
Right,
There's
right.
no fee.
Right, and the Zuli will be charged.
Yeah.
We have shows if you join the club. We have shows at the Anton. So
Nice.
you'll definitely be invited to the Anton for the opening show.
I'm always outside that area.
I like to use.
And so, so you will have a chance to get to the Anton with our group, along with 4 other groups. We all go together. And we encourage our artists, even when they're beginners, like your mother, to enter the shows.
I'm really beginning.
But you can take maybe one of these workshops, or you can join us on Saturday and we can do a group thing, and we share ideas on how we
There's
do
a
it.
voicemail.
And
Okay,
then
let's
also
check
on
what
Zoom,
that
if
is.
you're like to go on Zoom, you can do a home studio and join us that way too. Was there any other comments from Zoom?
Let's see.
No? Hi, Steve. I didn't see you there. Okay, we got.
Hi
Steve,
there.
Tom and Mary Jane and Larry all on Zoom, by the way, so everybody. So is there anything else, likes and dislikes
Hello.
about how we're doing? Maybe, yes, Alexander.
Hello. Yes. Hi, Larry.
Me and Jackie talked about it. And I think it's
Thank you. Boy, I should.
a good
did I say
idea.
awful?
Yeah. It would probably be like PayPal. Okay, well, I'll definitely, we'll put that on the agenda for our next board meeting. So is there any other pluses or minuses for how what the group is doing? Okay, thank you. Now I got so many notes on my paper, I have to find out where I'm at. Our next scheduled general membership meeting will not be until Tuesday, September 6th, because we take the summer off for our meetings like this, the business meetings. We still do, and Kyle, you might want to take a schedule from the table, which tells us all the stuff. What we have is we have 2 paintouts, what is it, 2 or 1 paintout a month? 2 paintouts a month. We have, I email everybody when I do an urban sketching event. And we do 2 Zoom with June, which is paint alongs on a Zoom. Everybody's in their own home studio or wherever they want to be. And they're painting and we're talking to each other as we paint, and we have a theme and stuff like that. We have studio time on Saturday every week, and at the North Lake, you're familiar about that North Lake School?
Yeah.
Okay, on Elmira. And so that's once a week. The only time that's canceled is if the schools are canceled. And I found out that there's a calendar that I can look at to schedule that. And I didn't see any school closures because they're open in the summer for us. So we'll see if they're closed, if they're a break that's closed before then.
And it's just so you know, it's 10 to 2 on Tuesday at the North Lake, and then it'll be 10 to 2 at Blossom Peak on Saturday. So.
So is there any discussion? And the reason why it's on a Tuesday in September is because Memorial Day falls on a Monday. And so we just jump in it, but most of the time our meetings are on Mondays, the first Monday of the month. Anybody wants to sign up for the parade? Where members are active in the parade. Denny's right here. You can let her know that you want to participate in the parade. She'll just write your name down.
May I say something real quick?
Sure.
On subject. Tomorrow at studio, I'm going to bring some kind of committee list. So anybody who wants to participate, nobody has to be in the parade. Nobody has to do everything. I'm just looking for some help so that we can get a nice little float in our parade this year to represent us, okay? So tomorrow at studio on Elmira.
Are you gonna need help specifically during the week, during the day, or are you gonna have weekends and
What I'm
evenings
thinking of
possible?
is Tuesdays, I think we need 2 good Tuesdays to paint out what we're gonna put on the side of the trailer. We're probably gonna get foam core or something, because we're doing acrylics, and acrylics will stick to foam core.
But the reason why I'm asking whether you're gonna do it on Saturdays is people who work can't come to the studio on Tuesday, but they might be able to get to you with
Right.
you on Blossom Heath
I could do
on
that.
Saturday.
I could do that.
So, okay, so call Denny if you're interested, unless you're gonna be at the studio this Saturday.
I'm gonna be, let's see, I can make it this Saturday, the following Saturday I'll be out of town.
Okay, so just drop by this studio, which is the East Room at Blossom Heath. And you can help her, you can sign up with her there and come up with what you're gonna help her with.
I need people to paint, to come up with ideas and just to put it together, and anybody wants to be in the parade itself. I put in with Dave Rebello, the Jeep, the trailer, and potential 2 cars. They may not let us have that because it's gonna be on Harper, but they might. I don't know. He hasn't got back with me about our position.
Okay. Okay, so is there any questions on the parade stuff? Okay, I mentioned earlier, the studio is open up. It was closed for the summer. For the winter. They were using it for storage and stuff. So I got word from Henry Bowman, who's the Parks and Rec director, and he says that we can start going back this Saturday. And they're not having a lot of Saturday functions, so that shouldn't be canceled because of other functions, because they don't want to conflict with what's going on at Blossom Heath Hall. So they're keeping Saturdays during our studio time pretty quiet. So that's a good thing. So that's it with my report. Or news is Michelle is not online, is she? Okay. Well, I will speak for her. We've got Valerie Allen here. She's going to be our demonstrator today. She is not working as a representative of Golden. She's here as an artist, as herself.
That's different.
So that's really cool. And so after break, make sure you stick around. And she says it's okay to record it. So if somebody misses it, or want to see it again, they can always check it out, because I put the recordings on YouTube and we have a link to it on Facebook. So then, Wendy, did you want to say anything? I've seen a lot of stuff in the papers.
Sure.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Oops. Sorry, I have notes. Okay, so we had, prior to the show, we had a little article in the Sentinel, and then we also got a really nice article in Grosse Pointe News, just advertising the show, which was pretty cool. And then, as June said, we had a special Founders Awards. So the granddaughter of our founder, Mita Strigley, right?
Mita.
Yeah, reached out, and we ended up doing a commemorative award. Was the result of that conversation, and her grandson was able to present the award, which I thought was pretty cool. So I've done a press release and sent it out about the award show and honoring our founder. So we'll see who picks that up. And then let's see, I just happened to notice, I probably should have told you, but the Ford House is doing a paint out event in, I want to say it's June. So if anybody's interested, it sounds kind of cool. You do like the paint out is like all day. You start at like 8 or 9 in the morning. It goes till like, I don't know, 3. And then they do like a paint out event afterwards, which is basically like a reception and an awards ceremony. So they judge the art from the paint out if you want to be part of that.
This is the Ford House?
Yes.
And
Yes.
is there a fee associated with that? I'm
Oh,
assuming there
yeah,
will
I'm
be.
sure. there
Yes.
is. Yeah, I don't
Is that
know.
gonna be in the Rose Garden again?
I don't know where. I just know it's outside.
You know when?
I don't remember.
But we
This
can
is
send out
terrible.
a notice. We have a
Yeah, I can
newsletter
write.
that's coming out soon.
Yeah, I
And we
just,
will put that in the newsletter. I'm just gonna write a note to myself here.
I happened to come across it last night and I thought, oh, that'd be nice for people to know. And then I don't have any details for you.
If I can't find it, which I should be able to find it, I'll just call you.
But anyway, I don't know. I just, if anyone's interested in, you know, doing that, in addition to what we offer,
Yeah.
it's, you know,
Well, we've just mentioned that we want to be informed on paintouts and
oh. apparently-
workshops that are going on. So this would fit into that category. Yes, Kyle.
You guys ever meet up with other groups? to paint?
No, but actually, I'm surprised you should have brought that up because Diane had an idea that maybe we should get together and see other groups' art shows. Find out when their art show is and then have members that are interested, we can all go out and see their show. And, but no, we don't have anything as yet where we get together with other groups, but I'm not opposed to it.
I wonder though, like what other art groups actually do shows like we do. Like I'm pretty sure Romeo does.
Romeo
But Mount
Romeo
Clemens does
does.
not.
Warren?
I don't know if Warren does. And
But
Yeah,
they
I don't
might
know.
have some painting events though.
they might.
And,
Shelby too.
Yeah, Shelby might do something.
and Warren used to do painting events because they used to paint at the farmer's market
Okay,
in Warren,
okay.
according to Henry Bowman.
So
Robert?
You have those shows that are put on by Anton's for three or four of our.
Yes,
clubs.
but that's, yeah,
Yeah,
and then
but
that would be a
that's-
show that, yeah, we do with the tri-groups. But what Diane was thinking is we'd go to like Romeo as a group and look at their show, you know, just check out the paintings that they have in their show.
Invite them to come here while ours are open.
And then invite them to come to ours, yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll have to contact their board members
So-
and see if we can get an agreement with that.
just a comment about our show, you know, it's really cool. If you get a chance to go over to North Lake, go check it out and you can see all the different kinds of art, you know, that everybody's doing. You know, so
But you have to go there during school hours.
you do. And then you have to find out if they're open. I know they're open till 7 o'clock tomorrow and Wednesday because I asked, but normally I think they're open till like 4. But if you call, you can find out what their hours are, if they open in the evening or not. So the paint out at the Ford House is actually May 14th. And then it starts at,
That's pretty soon.
yeah, it starts at 8 and then the fresh paint party is at 6.
So it starts at 8 a.m.?
So, and you can buy tickets right on the website.
Okay, that sounds good. And then we can also make these announcements on our Facebook page. Does that sound like a good thing to do?
Yeah, we probably could go on to their site. They probably have an
And
event. We could
share
just
it.
share it right
Yeah.
to our page, yeah.
If that's something that people would be interested in.
I think that's all I've got.
All right, thank
So,
you.
Okay, thanks.
Corresponding Secretary Jackie, is there anything you want to talk about? You can come up here and talk about it. Okay, and Debbie is the membership chair. Is there
Well,
anything you want to talk about? You have
well,
to come
I
up
just-
here if you want to talk.
Not really, I just want to encourage people to get their dues in because there's a lot of people that haven't paid. And we did have 4 new members join us last month. And that's about it.
Okay, we had 4, for people in Zoom land, if they didn't hear that, we had 4 new members sign up recently, which is wonderful. And there's a lot of members though that have not gotten their dues in yet. So want to encourage everybody to pay your dues. And so we're ready for the next year. Because you want to be on the roster, you know, for, yes, Kyle.
How often do you have to
once a year. Yeah, so it's very affordable. Yeah, once a month, it's a little bit rich, and a lot of us would drop out of the club. Okay, thank you, Debbie. Is there any unfinished business? We have the election of officer and the new business, but is there any other new business before I get to that? Okay. Let me get out my spiel. All right. The nomination list, we have president, Jackie Block. She changed her name when she got married. Do you believe that? Anyway, Jackie Block for president. Is there any nominations from the floor? You're allowed to nominate yourself if you want to run for the office. Okay, for first VP is Michelle Callow. For first VP, which is programming, and she's the one that gets our artists that do demonstrations. She gets the judge, because we have artist demonstrations at all of our meetings, except the ones where we have an artist come in and critique work that we've done, getting ready for a show. And then she also gets the judges for our shows. So any nominations for from the floor for first VP? Or from Zoom? Okay, second VP, Wendy Coleman is for second VP, which is publicity. She's doing a great job. Is there any nominations from the floor for second VP? Okay, corresponding secretary, June Nash is running for, that's me, is running for corresponding secretary. They do the newsletter and they do the brochures for the shows. And is there any nominations for corresponding secretary from the floor? Fine. Recording secretary is Diane Harris is for recording secretary. And she takes the minutes of the meetings. Is anybody interested in being nominated? I'm getting there.
Oh.
I'm going by my notes. Okay, is there any nominations to the floor for recording secretary? Okay, treasurer, Mary Palazzola for treasurer. Is there any nominations for from the floor for what did you do? Oh, then Mary says, please, is there anybody interested in being treasurer that wants to step up? Okay, membership, Debbie Burnham for membership chair. And is there any nominations from the floor for membership or from Zoom? Okay, we're going to close the nominations by unanimous consent if it's agreeable to everybody. Nobody objects. Okay. As all board positions are unopposed, if there's no objections, I would like to cast a unanimous vote for all positions by unanimous consent. I would like the secretary to note that it's a unanimous for each of the candidates. Okay, done. So at this point, I would like to say that I really enjoyed being president. It was a lot of fun and everybody is great and willing to help out, which made my job a lot easier. And I had a great board and it's wonderful. But I would like to pass the gavel on to Jackie Block, not Nash, Jackie Block. Oh, and by the way, these towels were left at the show. Do these belong to anybody? We will put them back.
It looked like it's for the high school kids.
Yeah, well, we'll put them back at the school and maybe we just stole their towels. But we cleaned them.
This one says, the best thing in life, the best things in life are furry.
Oh, that well, it could be Michelle,
It could be
though, so
Michelle,
let's
yeah.
ask Michelle. Fine, before we give them away, here's your gavel. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. And as the business portion of our meeting has concluded, does anyone have any extra things they'd like to add? Anyone want to make a motion to adjourn? Okay, Wendy, second. Okay, and so all those in favor? Oh, sorry, Denny. All those in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed? All right, so meeting is adjourned at 7:13.
Everybody, you want to take your seats? I would like to introduce Valerie Allen. She works for Golden, but this is her as her own personal person. She's giving this workshop here, not as a representative from Golden.
Right.
So I will let her take it away.
Okay. Hi out there, everybody. It's good to be back here. It's been a couple of years since I've been in person. Of course, I'm Val Allen, and I've met a lot of you before here. And then several of you were on a lecture earlier, I think it was last year, a Zoom lecture, right? Jackie, you helped me with that. You were the tech person, I remember. So, but oh man, it's great to be out and about again. So when I give the lecture demo, Golden sends me out about every other year. So then when Michelle and who else contacted me? You may have contacted me, June.
Not this year, it was Michelle.
Michelle contacted me and she said, well, we can do an art demo. And I said, sure, we'll talk about me as an artist and I can do a demo of some things I like to work with. I thought that'd be kind of fun. And then tell you a little bit about my art journey at the same time while I'm working. So I just recently retired as curator up at Studio 23. And I heard you talk about Anton Art Center, and I've been a juror over there at those shows. That's a beautiful art center in your region as well. And then of course the other groups you were mentioning, I've talked with those folks too. So since I retired, my husband, and he's also an artist, my husband and I started an online venture called Art Ladders. And Art Ladders features a podcast that we do every other week. And we have artist interviews, and we also talk about the artist process in discussions. So it's called Art Ladders, The Creative Climb. And it's on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Anchor FM. So all you have to do is Google that, it'll pop up. And if you'd like to listen, we're up to our 22nd episode. And we recently had an artist by the name of Sally Hurst. She's in the UK, and she's also one of my Golden friends. That's the fun part about our podcast. I know so many artists through the Golden world. There's about 28 of us in the nation. Or yes.
I just want to verify that I would Google Art Ladders.
Art Ladders.
Okay.
Google Art Ladders, okay. And then you'll find out the podcast. Comes out every other Tuesday. So. Okay. This week there isn't one, but next Tuesday there is, but the whole library is there. So you can listen to all of it. And then the other thing we're doing is teaching some online classes. I have one starting May 4th. It's all online and it's called Abstraction Now. And it's a class just on that, on abstract painting for 5 weeks. And you can find that on our Facebook page, Art Ladders, so you could sure see it on my Facebook page. And any Instagram people out there, I'm also on Instagram, Valerie Allen Art. So you'll see all this. So I didn't really retire. I don't think artists ever retire. We just keep on rolling. I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? It's just, we can keep doing this till forever. So that's what I plan to do. And I'm going to talk to you tonight about printmaking using acrylics. Any printmakers in the crowd? The printmaking I'm working with are very, very portable, very
It's easy to get the equipment for. You do not need any solvents since you're working with acrylics. And there's not a lot of special tools that are involved as well. So it's pretty user friendly. And I thought you might get a kick about seeing some of the ideas of this. I am going to start out talking a little bit about the Open colors. The Open is a brand name, of course, by Golden, and it's a slow drying acrylic. That is how I'm using it then as a printmaking ink, because when you're a printmaker, you want the ink to not dry too quickly because you need to have it impart on the papers. So this will hold up to that. But the beauty of working in an acrylic slow drying material is that you have a full range of a zillion colors. And that's very handy. I'm not going to work in a lot of colors tonight, but I'll work in a few of them so you can get an idea. The two methods that I'm going to use for the printmaking are number one, monotype printing on a jelly plate. Anybody have jelly plates out there? Yay! They are so fun. And once you talk about workshops, you on your Saturdays or anytime, it's almost once you see you get into a rhythm and it becomes very, very fun to do and fun for a crowd to do. So think about that if you're ever looking for workshops in
I hope you don't mind me interrupting.
No.
But a jelly plates, I'm not familiar
Oh,
with that. So
sure.
is that something you make or is that something you buy?
Well, it is something you can make, and there are recipes online for it. It's made with Knox gelatin, and it's almost like a very firm jello. And in elementary schools and high schools back in the day, that's what the teachers would do. And they put it back in the refrigerator when the kids were done with it and get it back out again. And people still make them, and they're very usable, and they last quite a while in the refrigerator. But then a couple of lady artists came up with a silicone version of it. So this is good to go for a long, long time. This one is, you can see it's well used. It still has some of the paint left over. It doesn't really affect it. But it's the whole idea is the pressure becomes the printing press. So you don't need a printing press because you're pressing into it. And you get all sorts of texture, nature prints, leaves and ferns are beautiful in it. Stencils, which I'll do tonight, are beautiful in it. And again, super user friendly. And you can get these through Dick Blick, Jerry's Artorama. I'm trying to think who else you might have. Michael's, I'm not sure. I would check online first. I don't think they do, but I know for sure that Dick Blick and Jerry's Artorama.
And they come in different sizes.
They come in different sizes. This is a little, I want to say this one's an 8 by, this is a 6 by 6. They come, the one that I recently bought is a 12 by 12. And my idea with that one is I'm going to print the jelly plate on tissue paper. And then I'm going to collage that entire 12 by 12 square onto a 12 by 12 panel. And that will become an underpainting for me. So I got pretty excited about that 12 by 12 version. But yeah, I think the biggest might be stuff like this by this. So yeah, you can get all sizes. Oh, and then the other fun one is the circular one. So you can do circle prints. That's a lot of fun. There's two brands out there. Jelly, this one is jelly plate, and then there's gel press. Gel press is the 12 by 12 inch. So keep an eye out for those. And then you're also going to buy, when you do get this, a brayer. But get this, they're called soft brayers, not hard brayers. Printers use different styles of brayers, and the hard one is super hard, and then this one is soft enough to work well on these plates. So I'm gonna do a little run here for you to show you just how simple this is, and I'm going to be working with out of my imagination. So definitely I'm an abstract artist working out of my imagination. But I do something called disruptive realism because I'm thinking of real things in my mind, but then I'm abstracting them by the time I get onto the surface. So my inspiration tonight is going to be Siena, Italy. It's going to be an Italian theme tonight. And I'm going to start out. And what I'm doing right now is just as much a surprise to me as it is to all of you. One of my favorite artists is Robert Rauschenberg. He used to say that when he went to the studio, he didn't know what he was going to work on. He didn't know what he was going to do. And I just thought that was just a great attitude to have. So let's see how this flies. So I'm putting down a little bit of white ultramarine blue. And this is that slow drying paint. And
It's a slow drying acrylic.
slow drying acrylic paint, yes. And I just want to get a nice smooth layer on here. And I have a very simple way of registering my paper. The registration will allow me to print on it in the same spot over and over for multiple colors. And all I've done is I've taken two, and I'm working on cover stock right now. I've taken two pieces of cover stock and I've laid them on the plate without any paint on it at all, and then taped it down to make an hinge like a book, because I'm planning to make a first run print and also a ghost print that will pick up the residual paint that's on there. And a lot of times the ghost print is more desirable than the first run. So my first run, I'm going to lay down this kind of Italian architecture gene stencil. And this stencil is die cut paper that I found. I believe I found it at Michael's in their scrapbook section. And it was in a big sheet. And then I just cut it out to make my own stencil. And this has now been coated by the time I'm done with it with 4 or 5 layers of acrylic paint just by using it. And that has made this little stencil very, very strong and tough. So it's almost like an acetate stencil at this point. So let's lay that down. And my first run or my first print is going to be very much about the negative space left behind, because wherever that stencil is, it's going to be completely white. And I'm pressing into it and I can feel it give. Okay.
So if you were gonna do like say a leaf or something.
Yes.
The leaf would go with the stencil.
The leaf would go where the stencil is, and the first run, and you'll see, will be all about the white of the paper. Hope you can see that out there, Zoom Bill. But then the magic starts to happen, I feel, when you peel this off. Oh, and that's the other thing. I need to put my gloves on. So you peel that off. Here, I don't need to quite yet. You probably can't all see that really well. And so I took off the stencil. Now it's not going to be about the negative space. Now it's going to be about the shadow and the texture. Can you see that out there? Two totally different looks that I can work with. I love that color too. I'm just drawn to that color. And it's basically titanium white added to the ultramarine blue. It's a very beautiful shade. Okay, now I'm doing this. Put my gloves on because it does tend to get messy. All right, so now I'm going to grab my scissors because I'm thinking now about Greek architecture, arches, mainly pillars maybe, and I'm going to cut out some shapes here that might make me think of Italy. So let's see, let's do a little entryway into a village or something.
You Italian?
I'm not Italian. I think I'm more, I found out I was more Irish than anything, which I thought was kind of fun. But I love Italy. I've been there once, but I think I love Greece even more. So any type of Mediterranean look. I'm gonna do just a simple circle here. Let's do one of those. And now I'm gonna do almost a Gothic style window. Something with a little point on it. Pretty cool, that's all right. Okay, so I think my next color I'm gonna use a pop of red, Pyro red. Okay, and you notice that I did not wash off the light blue because I want it to mix, and I'm not gonna wash it off of here either. It's gonna be kind of a purple color. So let's get that kind of a rich, almost an eggplant color. See what we get.
Now, is that paint specially made to do for that?
It's the slow drying acrylic. It was made for artists that were used to working in oil, and so they wanted their acrylic to dry slower. That's how it came about. But then they found out that plein air artists really like it because when you're out on the field, the wind would just dry acrylics too fast. And so, and then we figured out, hey, printmakers like it too. So let's get some architecture. So again, I'm just laying in some shapes. Let's put that circle right here. Shapes. Window. Here it is. Okay, this time I'm going to do the ghost print first, just to mix it up.
And why won't you use that roller when you're doing this instead of your hands?
I like the feel of knowing that I'm pressing it underneath, but some artists do keep 2 or 3 just perfectly clean brayers and just run it over. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's a good question. And that does work. Okay. I'm going to rub a little more right here. There we go. Okay. So now you start getting a little bit of that architecture applied in there. I'm going to take these off. They really, really stick to that plate too. So when I go back over to the main print, it's going to be more about line work. Oh, got the circle out of there. That's okay. So then just a subtle little shift there. So now I need to think, what do I want to do? What do I want to do now? I think I'm going to go black. Now I have to think that the black is going to be pretty strong, right? So I'm going to try to block a lot of it out. Oh, I'm not gonna do that. Okay. Now I'm gonna think of this being more like an Italian fence, a grate or a gate going in. And I'm not going to worry about it matching what I already had as far as registration. That's starting to look more about the architecture. And then over here, I'm going to leave it on. Okay, that's kind of more of an aged look. Then top it off. I'm going to go back and lightly pick this up. Ooh, it's starting to get a little rich. I'm gonna have to go back and red with this one now. And let's do a little bit of that over here. Just a light little impression.
It looks like a stained glass window.
It's starting to get some depth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's getting a little richer too. So what do we do next? Anybody have a good idea? I think I have a good idea. I better have a good idea, right? Okay.
Lighter, yeah.
I do have a lighter color. It's a beautiful green. But I think what I want to do now is I want to true stencil. Almost like I'm looking through a window now. Okay, let's try that. And I am going to, you'll see how easy it is to clean this off. I'm going to clean this off.
What are you using to clean up? Just
And
water?
that is water. Yes. So it's water.
Can you use both sides of that Jones plate?
Yes, yes, you can.
What's the advantage of using a jelly plate as opposed to just like, flat?
It has the give to,
A little cushion.
yeah, and I keep trying to figure out a way that would be easy for everybody. Like, let's say you were out and about, you didn't have your jelly plate, what could you use? And I'm almost thinking, I don't know, I keep, for some reason, freezer paper with maybe a carpet square under it or something like that, something that would give you some push to it. So I'm sure there's something out there. Okay, so the light green. This is a very, very pale green. It has a lot of titanium white in it. And to clean my roller, I'm just going to do one of these. Could you drop that in a pan of water if you want? You could. There was a sink. I would home that's what you would do. I would rinse it right off. I am going to throw a little bit of spray on it.
Does it, does it get stained though? I know like wash it so it's stained on it.
It can
So that
stain.
would really hurt it.
No, it doesn't hurt it a bit.
And this is something we can do at studio on Saturday. We were doing that for
Yes.
a while, is practicing, having like an amateur workshop, learning what we learned at the demo at the Saturday
Mhm.
following the demo.
I like to rack my brain on some way you could use that principle with easier supplies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll bring my journal or give it to you.
Oh, great. All right.
Yeah, if you have 2 or 3 of those around, you're good to go.
How expensive are they?
I think this size is about $18, but
Alright.
they go up from there. Okay, so now I'm gonna add that soft sage green. And you can, it's what it'd take, about a half a teaspoon of paint there, right? I gotta think, I have to think right now. This is the hard part. Do I want the green to be a solid in the middle, or do I want the solid to go around to capture the pattern? I think I want the pattern around it. So. So this will block that up. Do it that way, it's going to be a green door. That way, then the pattern is the door. This is what I want to do. Maybe I'll do one of each. Okay, so this way, the pattern is going to be in the doorway. And then that green is going to be all around it. So there's that. So it becomes more of a shape than more like you walk us through. Now this time, let's go. Ooh, there's going to be a nice texture in there too. This way. And so this is bigger. So I'm going to trim this off so the paper doesn't interfere.
Almost got a marbling there
Right here,
on this one.
this one here.
Yeah.
Like a plastered wall. a
Yes,
plastered wall.
uh-huh.
It tends to be some very interesting textures. Okay, here we go. I'm excited about this. Ooh, that's kind of cool too. Okay. Now I would start thinking, this is when you get to this stage, I start feeling like I need something here to ground that, and I need something here to jazz that up. And I'm thinking red again. I'm going to keep the green. I'm going to gray this red. Yeah, just kind of dampen this bright red down just a bit. A little bit of
You have to put just one color at a time, or can you put 2 or 3 on there?
You could put 2 or 3 on. You could, with your brayer. So I'm going to put that right there. Okay. Ooh, oh boy, I kind of went wild there. So now I'm going to take this one off. So this one's picking up a lot of texture here, and it's also still giving you the implied.
Can you point that towards the camera here?
architecture.
Oh, wait, I think she's gone.
Is she?
Oh, yeah.
She said, oh, I'm.
Oh, that case, I might as well shut it down.
Now let's go back to.
Recording that.
Huh? Oh, you're right.
Oh,
Well, I can
yeah.
shut this one down.
Is it recording on that?
Well, no, it's recording on that one, but I'll leave it on.
Okay, now I like the green wall on this one. And circle out. Kind of get the idea of the possibilities. And when you're with a group doing this, you'll see what others are doing, and then you start doing like simple yarn down on this as a stencil is just beautiful. All sorts of things. Or you may want to do your jelly plates on antique sheet music. And use that as your paper. There's so many ways. So many ways. You can do this. So then you get all this kind of you see how it's all up there. And the other thing is.
Yeah, because even though nobody's watching, they will on the video.
Sure. The other thing is, you see how quickly, if you stay with that color family, you have a series, and then you could end up with 5 to 10 of these easy in just an hour. And then they become inspiration for abstract paintings. So, I really, it's really a lot of fun. So there's that. And then I want to show you another way of working. And I have some samples here already, but I am going to attempt to run one through. This is my new little present to myself. This is I call it the baby press. It's a little tiny printing press. It was made in Italy. And so maybe that's why I'm so inspired. But it will do up to a 7-inch wide print by 10 inches. No bigger than that. So it's definitely a baby press, but it will do everything an etching press will do. So I've been running some little prints off of it. And again, when you're inking up that plate, and in this case I'm using slow drying acrylic, you can ink it in a way that's heavily inked or lighter inked, so you get different looks.
Use the jelly press, you put that on there and then run that through.
No, this time I won't be using the jelly press because I'm going to rely on the pressure from the press. So again, Italian feel to it, and then
Would you apply the ink to the paint to one side and then press?
And then you're gonna
and then run it through.
and you're going to see me hopefully. And then here is another. Let's get these going the right way.
I think it's a straight line.
So this is another example right here. Darker inking, lighter inking. So and then you have the little plates that you can keep using. So I'm going to ink up one of these plates, and we'll see what we get when I run that through.
Now, what's that made of?
This is made of canvas board behind it.
Okay.
Or I could have used mat board behind it. And then here's a plate that I'm working up right here. I'm using boxes from cereal boxes, Keurig boxes. That kind of tag board weight is very easy, and I can cut it with my X-Acto knife or cut it with scissors. So I collage that down, and then if I want to, I could throw a stencil on it. And then with some of the heavy gel products or glass bead gel or coarse pumice, I can put some textures on here that will show up. So this is called collagography. It's based on the word collage. So your plates are made from collages. And I just love the effect that you can get, because what happens is that straight line you're talking about is where the pressure doesn't hit right where those shapes are.
No, I meant the square around you.
Oh, there you go.
Didn't get ink all over that.
Sure. So it's all about the plate at that point. Getting rid of these dirty gloves. Now you're going to see me get super messy, but so here I have one of those plates in there too. I was while you all were having your meeting, I was kind of adjusting the pressure on the press to get it right. So I hope I'm pretty close to that.
So you made these plates just by a collage?
Just by collage.
Okay.
And I have probably about 54 of these made up. But then my baby press arrived, and I was turning these into paintings, they're collage paintings. I wasn't using them for printing at all, but I thought to myself, hey, I think these would work as plates. But then I have to crop them.
Use that as a plate, but the ink is already dried on it.
I'm gonna put new ink on it.
Oh, guess what I'm doing?
Yep. So I'm cropping these and cutting out the best parts of them, turning them into little plates. So I've got enough material to keep me on quite a while. So now you'll see where I'm going. I'm gonna ink up the plate and send it through the press. That is another good thing about it is I could do an addition of, oh my gosh, 10 of them or whatever, and then I'd have them to mat and to sell or to pass out or whatever I do with them.
So you can get the same print over and
Same
over and over
print
again.
over and over.
Okay.
They're gonna look slightly different because the inking will be different. But it is a repeatable image. I'm gonna repeat this one, because I really like that one. And
What does the startup cost you if you wanted?
this little guy,
Any of, what does it take? How much in supplies does it cost? to
well,
start?
this is the big ticket item. This was like my retirement gift to myself because it's about $300 some. So that was my investment. I have a bigger press at home, but I wanted a press that I could take around to places and that. So, and then the tubes of paint are about $20 a piece, and then the jelly, if you go jelly plate route, that's about $20. So this time I'm going to use the carbon black, slow drying. And then the other thing is, let's say I'm done running as many prints as I want to with this plate. I could repaint this plate and turn it into a little mini painting as well. So it can be dual purpose. Way we go.
And then also, if you, I think I heard at a previous class thing, if you mix the slow drying with the quick drying,
Yes.
it becomes slow drying, so you can stretch out your paints that way.
Yes, so let's say you have a bunch of regular drying acrylics at home. You can mix it with slow drying acrylics to slow down the time. Or the big hint I've been giving now is there is a medium called open medium that you can add, just like you would a gloss medium or matte, to your slow fast drying paints and slow down your time. Because that takes a lot to get all these crazy slow drying paints when you already have the colors at home.
Yeah.
Just buy that little bottle of medium and add it, and you're inventing your own slow drying paints. Yes, there is retarder.
It's called retarder.
Yes. The thing with retarder is you can't use it, but you have to be careful of how much you add. So this open medium is kind of taking the guesswork out of that. So you might enjoy that. The other thing that I used in the past is something called acrylic glazing liquid, which is retarder mixed with some gels. And that's very user friendly. Have you ever had trouble adding too much retarder? Or you probably just well, what can happen is it can make it so that it doesn't dry for a long, long time. So you probably used it in tiny amounts. Yeah. Good. So these newer formulations were made just for that, to keep the guesswork out of the retarder, to make it really easy. Because you can't really mess it up. So you see what I'm doing? I'm kind of like icing a cake right now with this black ink. And I'm using the carbon black because it's kind of a traditional printmaker etching ink color. It's just a very rich black. All right, now. That's some ink on here. And I'm going to use some newspaper. And I'm going to start rubbing that ink into all the crevices. See, this is the messy part. So this is a whole nother way of working. The jelly plates are pretty much a monotype, a one of a kind every time you do it. This is somewhat repeatable because you have an image that is kind of set in stone. Okay, newspaper. Now I'm going to move on to paper towel. So you go through different levels of absorption when you're wiping the ink off.
Julia, done that right from the beginning instead of adding all that paint.
Pardon?
You know,
Oh, you mean just put it on here and rub it in? For some reason, it doesn't get in all the cracks as well as having that layer on the edges. That's why you have gloves for sure. Then, now this could be, this is a very soft polishing cloth, but you could also use something called scrim. It's used in the theater world a lot, or starched cheesecloth. I've used that. I love starched cheesecloth too, but another printmaker friend gave me some of this. And then this, you start buffing it. It's kind of a tradition, really, to work this way. This is the intaglio method, basically. Okay, so I think I'm going to call that good. I'm going to wipe a little more off here.
How many prints would you get off the plate?
One per ink. It's only one per ink. But then I just ink it up again and do it again. So the trick is, after a while, the edges will kind of get squashed from the pressure on the collage print. So I think 8 to 10 would be a good method. If you were just an eagle-eye printmaker, you would probably look at it after 4 runs through. You go, wait, that line has changed a little bit. It's flattened. Or if you're working with the copper plates with the fine lines, they look at the way the edges and the lines wear down. But as far as this time, this is a one shot deal. And I'm going to work on, so I've got my clean hands again. And I have my little packet of moistened paper here. So this
Also, the paper has to be moistened. Okay.
Yes, I moisten the paper because I kind of want an embossed edge from the plate in there as well. And then it will pick up. And
It's just a little damp.
it's what I do is if I'm at home, I have a big tub. I put the paper in and I would let it soak for at least an hour. Here, I've taken the paper and put it in between wet paper towels. And you can do that the night before and then get your paper all ready and you're ready to roll. And a lot of times if you don't have a big, let's say you're doing a full sheet of printing paper for a big press, it's going to take a great big bathtub, I guess, to put it in, to get it back. That's why printmaking departments in colleges are so handy to be around because they have all that equipment for you. That's the hard part about printmaking is getting all the equipment together. So, and this is just like a little mini lab, really. This is just crazy, but it kind of, I have a lot of fun with it. Okay, so I go through a lot of gloves. And I still get it all over, but we'll give it a shot here. I just want to lay the plate down now. And this is the blanket that actually you need the blanket that helps the rollers give more energy down into the paper. So I'm going to keep it as far out of the way as I possibly can to keep ink off of it for now. And I have some little marks on here to line my plate up. Now the little marks on there, I won't need it because I'm just doing one color, but if I was doing another color, taking it off, putting a new color, wiping it off, putting it back in, those little check marks would keep me registered fairly closely. Okay, so now gingerly lay the paper in there. Then we'll get the blanket back down. I feel the edge of my plate right here. So I'm going to attempt, and I may have to loosen, to get this to roll up on that plate. Now, this is where working on mat board instead of the canvas board that I'm working on will give you a little easier hump to tackle. But I'm going to see what I can do here. Okay, so I need to loosen slightly. I'm trying to remember how many I do because I'm going to tighten it back up once I get over that hump. Okay, I'm over the hump. All right. Oops, I was over the hump.
Sorry.
Try it again. Over the hump now. Let's tighten her down. 3, 2, 3. Look at the sides here. Okay, there's a lot of pressure. I like to put as much as I possibly can. Back it up a little bit. And I don't really want it to bounce off of there. I want to keep the pressure right up to the edge, but not go off of it. And I'm going to put it back through again. Before I leave that edge, I'm going to peek, see what's happening. It's happening. Okay. That back. There we go. Yeah. So then you get a nice,
Very nice, yeah.
little print. Now I can, okay, so it goes this way. And can you see the architecture kind of as you're walking through arches? And so even though that was a completely abstract plate to begin with, and I cropped it out of that bigger image, I had no clue it was going to have all that reference to architecture. I mean, I knew it was architectural shapes, but I didn't dream that it would look like you were walking down a road in Siena, Italy. So that's it. And you start seeing even the linen look of the canvas board right here. And you'll see a little bit of the textures that I've used. I'll set that right there for a minute. And then this is an experiment that I did with a rolling pin. That's a way to save money. Instead of a printing press, it's used with a rolling pin with dampened paper like I did. And I coated the boards with certain products like the glass bead gel or the micaceous iron oxide or clear tar gel. And then I did little test runs. And here you have the plate and here you have the printing.
And what type of
Yes.
paper did you use?
And this is a Reeves BFK paper. No, I'm sorry, this is Arches paper.
So it's a
Um,
watercolor paper?
It's a printmaking paper.
Oh, printmaking paper,
Yes.
okay.
It's a printmaking paper. And you can find that again at Dick Blick or Jerry's Artorama. And once you get hooked on the printmaking, and if any of you printmakers are out there, you start to fall in love with paper because the papers are so beautiful. They have beautiful watermarks on them and they're just so elegant. And you start picking up that deckled edge around. So it's just a very.
Can you use
wonderful
paper other than
process.
the printer paper?
I am getting ready. What was I going to experiment on? I want to experiment on. I wanted to experiment on 300-pound arches that you would use for watercolor, and also there's a paper made in India. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It's a rag paper. It's rag content. It's not very expensive, but it has a beautiful shaped edge, and they come in circles or long horizontals. I want to experiment with that too.
But you can use watercolor paper.
I haven't experimented extensively with that, but I wouldn't be afraid to try it for sure. Definitely. We had a
I
question.
don't know the backwards, but can you use canvas to do something like that or no? Or no, is it too tricky? Just thought.
If it is a good thought, because you mean to print on the canvas,
Yeah,
to run as a paper and then use canvas?
yeah.
I would try it. I would try it with ungessoed canvas and see what happens.
Or even maybe material, because don't they do prints on material all the time?
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
You can do fabric printing on jelly plate and just add something to your paint called GAC 900, and that'll make it so that you can laundry it and that sort of thing. But the jelly plate you could, and I bet you money you could do with that. It's all about pressure and putting the ink down. So the only thing it probably wouldn't do is emboss it like the paper, but that's okay too. It's sure worth an experiment. So, and then here is a this is a colograph plate that I inked in ultramarine blue, so you can see the residue of that behind. But the thing I did different here is, and this again this was before the baby press. This was with a rolling pin. So I think now it would probably with more pressure turn out a little bit better, but it's not horrible. But this is done with they call it a drop plate, where they would have just a plain plate, no textures, no collage, nothing on it. Ink it up with a brayer in a different color, this time orange. Run that through the press, keep your registration, flip your blanket back, put the new plate in, which would be this one, and then run it through. And so the drop plate gives you a dramatic background as opposed to the white of the paper. Two different looks. I'm kind of in love with the look, the more traditional look right now, but this is a way you can go to. So that takes care of that, and then this is another, so that you can touch and feel the jelly plate, and this has a lot of glass bead gel on it.
Now, would you frame these prints, or would you use them for gift cards or?
You could use them for gift cards. For example, I could take this one once it's dry. I could lay a metal edge down and then tear the paper off, instead of cutting it with a straight edge, because you want that soft look on the edge. And then
decal scissors.
And decal scissors are perfectly fun. And then you could lay that down and make a gift card out of it. Or I can mat this, but when I mat it, I want that little edge around it to show. That shows it's a plate that's been used. And I just, I like where the ink meets the paper around the edges. So these I probably will mat up, and I'm gonna put a nice wide mat on in about the color of the background paper. Shrink wrap them. Hey, they go. That's the plan. But yeah, you can see all the different, just when you come up and walk around here, you know, when we're all finished, you can kind of see the different looks that you can get with it. And then these, I could, if I didn't like them at all, I would tear these up and use them as collage papers and paintings. They would become something I can work with. And a lot of artists will do this sort of thing with their jelly plates. Oh, that's, I'm looking at it, never mind, folks. But I'm looking at that, go, where'd that one come from? But it's the actual stencil. They'll print on tissue paper instead of cardstock, and then deliberately collage those into paintings. And it's helping them refine their marks. They're trying to get gestural marks. They don't become all tightened up as if they're working on their canvas. They're working on here, and they can just stitch it. Or if they find something they really like, they just collage it right onto their paintings. So a lot of springboarding from this process too, that you can work with, which I love to do that. I'm a mixed media artist all the way, and whatever works, works. And then I worry about the materials later. But you get these ideas, you know, you're falling asleep and you get an idea, and this is what can happen. The other recommendation I can make that's helped me a lot, and some of you probably read the book The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. Yeah, that book, I highly recommend it. And the portion that I love is the getting up in the morning before you're wide awake and writing 3 pages of cursive of your ideas. And it can be as simple as, you know, I know I'm going to Lakeside Palette Club. You know, what do I need to take? Write it all, boom, boom. Or it could be, you know, I'm really struggling with how to approach, da, 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 da. Wonder what I could work with, wonder what I could use for that effect. And you just write, and you don't necessarily ever go back and read it, ever. But you might, but it's not necessary. It's all about getting it out of your system and having it. And when you write it, there's some trigger that keeps it in your brain a little bit longer. So I don't know if you all do any 100-day projects. The 100-day project usually starts around the first of the year, but this year my 100-day project was to write in that journal every day. I've just seen a big difference. You know, I don't know if I'm more productive or not, but I'm more at ease. You know, it just calmed me down, because before my brain was just going, whoa, and now I know that I can always write it down. So think about that. So I don't know how much longer you have in the room, but
Well, this is 5 minutes is when we're over.
okay.
So
So in those 5 minutes, then I will tell you that normally, okay, these are the packets that you get when I get to lecture, which in about another year or so, I'll be eligible from Golden to come down on their behalf and do that. But you all can pick them up. I brought extras. I have extras because we had a backlog. So these are extra packets. You may have one from 2 years ago. I don't know, but here's some more stuff. And then in kind of in honor of the slow drying acrylic, here is a tube of titanium white that you can work with and open. And titanium white is a handy color to have because I never have enough of it. I'm always out of it. So just know that when you get in a bind, this color, this open, can go into your regular colors, no problem. It'll just, and the amount that you're going to use, it probably won't slow it down that much, but you can use it. So this is your emergency backup, slow dry titanium white. And then if you would like to get on my mailing list, just put your email right here. We've been through Art Ladders, the Creative Plan, we've been emailing notices about the podcast or notices about new classes and that sort of thing that you might be interested in. And then if any of you abstract artists, there's still time to get in Wednesday for the class if you are so inclined. 5-week session, it's 2 hours on Wednesday night, 7 to 9. So any questions from the audience out here?
The classes online
It's an online class, a virtual class, and it's a good group. They're very productive. I love your Zoom with June idea. That's so cool. But what we cover in the classes, I have a sketchbook demo that I do, for all. I have an overhead camera, so it's online. And then I have a project that everybody's working 12 inches by 12 inches. And I've added an art history segment, mainly because I always felt like in college, I just couldn't get enough of art history, and especially contemporary history. So I research 3 artists and present 3 artists every night of the class. And the ones that are the most surprising are the artists that I've never heard of, but are in that top echelon of the contemporary world, but we don't hear about them. And so I find a video, like 6-minute video, and then I insert artist quotes from those artists, and they're so inspiring. So
This is every Wednesday?
it's a Wednesday for 5 weeks, so it'll start
How
May
much is the
4th.
class?
It's $215, and it starts May 4th, ends on June 1st. So,
And how often do you offer that class?
and I've had the spring term, which just ended 2 weeks ago, and this is the late spring term. And then I'm considering in the summer doing an abbreviated once-a-month check-in, because people get so busy in the summer. So,
How do you find the classes? Through your
and it's
Instagram?
through, you can find it on my Facebook page, Valerie Allen, or Instagram. Okay. Oh, good, good. Thank you, thank you. Yes. thank you.
Now, if Wednesday evenings is like, is it like recording where
Oh.
you watch like on
Yes.
Thursdays because that's when I have time?
Yes.
Or do I need to be logged in on
So
Wednesdays?
it is recorded on that night, and if the technology gods are with us so far, knock on wood, they've recorded just fine. And then I have a private Facebook group for those students, and that's where that's posted. And then that will stay available 2 weeks after the class is over. So, because sometimes something comes up or you have to work. So, and right now I have a little gallery video that I just posted today of the past session, so you can see some of it. It's all totally different. Everybody is completely different. So it's a lot of fun. That's where you attended my little free
Yes,
webinar. So I
Yeah, it
kinda
was
do
interesting.
That's
and I'm not an abstract artist, and I did that. I went to it just because I was interested in, how do you do abstracts?
Right.
Yeah.
So that webinar I try to do before every session. So that's a good thing, just for fun to take that. And
Yeah.
It's a freebie. So I enjoy that one. Okay.
So thank you, Valerie.
Oh, sure.